3 mistakes that prevent you from sleeping well.
This is a very important topic. As a doctor, I always notice with my patients that almost everyone has sleeping problems. And it doesn't matter, whatever they are, whether it's trouble falling asleep, they just can't seem to relax. Whether they cannot sleep through the night, or whether they do not sleep long enough to feel rested the next day.
We will now go through these 3 so-called errors. And finally, I'll give you a good tip for falling asleep. Error number 1, that has something to do with eating. Your specialty.
Many people simply eat too late in the evening, so one should really be finished around 7 or 8 p.m. if possible. Exceptions are always possible. Then people eat far too much. There is also a very simple rule, the single plate rule. That is perhaps also an idea. And then people eat too much fat. In the evening, one should eat light food. That is quite reasonable.
What would be considered a light meal?
A light meal simply isn't a roast with gravy and dumplings on the side. That is really intense. The ideal would be vegetables and then maybe a legume soup, lentil soup or something like that. That is much, much lighter. And then chew well. Chewing well is so important because when we chew well, digestion is much easier. And by chewing well, I really mean trying to chew for as long as possible. There is a rule to chew each bite up to 40 times.
Chewing 40 times?
Yes, that is quite a lot. But if it is 30 times, it is also good.
Then I will be able to sleep better?
Yes, absolutely. So definitely give it a try. Furthermore, one also becomes full faster. That is also exciting because then the portions automatically become smaller. And all of this, when taken into account, then the digestion doesn't have as much work. And then the body can focus on sleeping. It's that simple. Error number 2, that is the sleeping position. For example, I know that most of my patients sleep like this. And I believe there are also statistics that show that 8 out of 10 people actually adopt this sleeping position regularly.
Does this sleeping position remind you of something? Imagine if Petra were exactly like this, but upright. She is sitting. And most people, according to our view, sleep and sit. Why? Because everything in the front always gets shorter. And at the moment when that happens, you automatically go into this position. But what's problematic about it is that the body then has no balance anymore, and everything remains as short as it has been all day long. And to reduce the body's need to go into this position, there is an exercise. Petra, let's show them. Please stand here in front. Get down onto the 4-point position. You can join in right away. Get down on all 4s. And first of all, make the back a little more round. Round, yes. And when you have rounded your back, when it is no longer so strong in the hollow of the back, then continue to lower the pelvis and let yourself hang forward with the groin leading the way. And then you notice it pulls here in the groin, it might pull in the stomach, it can also pull in the back. If you usually have back pain, then you probably feel it in your back. And that's good because then you know you're targeting the muscles that cause back pain and making them more flexible. So is our experience. Come on, start right away. Let yourself hang down and concentrate on your groin sinking down more and not your stomach. Just hang in there. You may notice how everything is nicely stretching now. And look forward to how you will have a completely different feeling afterwards. Where does it hurt, Petra?
Well, in the entire anterior muscle line across the abdomen.
Exactly the line that Petra is describing right now, which is permanently shortened by sitting. And now we will add a little strength training, which will also tire you out a bit more so that you can find better sleep. Tighten your left knee against the ground, but without anything moving. Just apply a little bit of force to it. If you can apply force, do it. If not, let yourself hang down there. And then you relax again. And then you tighten the right knee against the ground. And relax again. And let yourself hang deeper. And then you slowly come back up. And now go a little bit in the opposite direction with your buttocks down and stretch a bit more in this area. And that was the exercise. Error number 3. Does this look familiar to you? And I would strongly advise against doing this before sleeping, because you will notice it yourself. You are thinking in 1,000 different situations that engage you and occupy your mind. Your imagination begins. And that is the opposite of what we want in the evening. We want to calm down, to come to rest. Better to do a few exercises, a few Liebscher Bracht exercises, relax properly, breathe nicely while doing so. That would actually be a better preparation.
Yes, and what you shouldn't forget is that the moment you look at your phone, you're exposed to a lot of blue light. And this blue light, that is actually the brightest daylight of all. Tells your brain it's earlier than it is. And that's exactly what happens when you look at your phone or computer. You are not tired. And if you have too much blue light, then it actually prevents your sleep hormone, the melatonin, from being produced. And that's why so many people have trouble falling asleep.
And now here comes our bonus tip for you. And the interesting thing is you've already done the preparation for this. Namely, the exercise that Petra showed, that's exactly what you need to allow your body to prepare for rest. And then, here comes the tip, you lie on your back to fall asleep. And even if you are used to finding it difficult, maybe you know that sleeping on your back is recommended, you have tried it before, but it didn't work. Most of the time it doesn't work because of that. Because your hip flexor located in this area has become shortened and more tense. And when you lie down, the legs come out of this position again. And that creates tension in the back. Maybe you don't feel back pain yet, but the tension is there. That's why some people, perhaps you've seen this, place a rolled towel under their knees. This helps because it prevents the muscle, which doesn't have the length, from being stretched too much, as that can hinder the back from relaxing properly and falling asleep. Why is sleeping on your back so incredibly good? Because during the day, gravity is at work. And you collapse here, you overextend, and you get what's called a vulture neck. And all these things increase your poor posture and are not good for your sense of body awareness. Least of all for your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. If you lie down like this, gravity will act like a slight stretch. Then the neck extensor muscles are stretched. And the back, which may be too rounded, will be straightened. And the exaggerated lordosis will also be balanced out. Very, very gentle. And the body quickly gets used to it and loves it. And you won't want to miss it once you've started doing it. And if you know someone who has problems with sleeping, with falling asleep, with staying asleep, with waking up at night, and then not being able to fall asleep again, then share this video. They will be very, very grateful to you for helping them finally sleep better.
Yes, and if you want to do even more for an even better sleep, then here are 2 additional exercises. And otherwise we look forward to next time.
And we say sleep well.
Sleep well.